Hi everybody, this is Dee. We're going to make our Hippy Dippy hat. Now my first try at it, I used Sari ribbon silk, which had a lot of threads on it. It was a hot mess during the tutorial. And so I've decided, I finished the hat, and that will be the profile picture of this, or the wallpaper, whatever you call it, of this tutorial. But I'm actually not going to use the Sari ribbon for the tutorial to make things a whole lot easier. Now I'm using 6 strands, which sounds like a lot, but one of them is this thread with the sequins on it. One of them is just a glittery thread. One is the home cording, it's called. That will give it some stiffness. This is one of those 1-pounder bags, mystery bags you get from Hirschner's, and it happens to be rainbowy, so I'm using that. I'm also using some scraps, which I have more of my Hobie Carnival, and it's pretty colorful. And then for my thicker yarn, I'm using the Lion brand Scarfie. Okay, I always recommend using a stiffer yarn and a thicker yarn, just to make things. If you're doing a larger brim, sometimes you won't need to put a wire or anything like that in it to make the brim stand out. Okay, we are going to make a magic circle or magic loop, I guess they call it. And what you do is cross it over. You go under this, grab this and pull it out, twist it. And then you go around your workable yarn, which I forgot one. Not graceful when I'm doing these tutorials, I'll tell you. Okay, so there we go. And then I always pull that out, set it to the side. Okay, so this is our magic loop. And what we're going to start out with is chain 2. Now, the rules for this hat are pretty simple. You must use at least 3 yarns. You can use as many as you want, but 3 yarns. Your choice, whatever colors. The more colorful, the better, obviously, because it's a Hippy Dippy. You can use 3 different stitches, which is a chain stitch, a single stitch, or a double stitch. No fancy stitches involved because you're using so many different yarns. I also use a larger hook, which this one I believe is either an 8 or a 9. You know how these Odysseys are, they don't engrave it on it, so you're not sure. So I'm thinking that's a 9, but it could be an 8. Pair of scissors, and then a darning needle at the end. Okay, so the other thing is that you have to use something repurposed. In other words, an old brooch, a one-off earring, strap off an old purse, a belt, you know, whatever. Something needs to be repurposed on it, okay? So you have 3 stitches that you can use, single, double, and chain. 3 yarns all run together at the same time, at least, or you can use more. And you must use something repurposed on it. And of course, the more colorful, the better, because this is Hippy Dippy. Okay, so alright, so we got our first stitch here. Now what we're going to do is 10, so another 9, because that counts as your first, double crochets in our loop. Now in order to carry these yarns comfortably, instead of doing the normal, I always go under the yarn to pull it through because it seems to be less tangly. So under, and we're going to do 10 double crochets in our loop. Okay, when I feel like these are getting kind of short, I push them over to the side. Okay? Now in order to keep your yarn organized, I always pull out, I don't know, 4 or 5 foot maybe, and let it drape down, because you got these rolling, and you know, depending on what yarn you're using, you're dealing with a whole lot of stuff. Okay, so I always pull out 4 to 6 feet and let it kind of drape down, and then I do it again as needed. Okay, so I'm pulling all of these out, kind of draping them down to the side. Okay, once again we are pushing our tails over to one side, and we're going to do 10 double crochets And for those that you don't know, I will show you how to do a double crochet. I should have done that, right? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so you go, I go under because of all the strands. Sorry, got a call. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go under, through the loop, grab all your yarns, make sure you got them all, under, through 2, and then again through 2. And of course I messed that one up. Let's get that back through there. That's the only thing about using multiple strands of yarn. Sometimes you gotta kind of pull them tight to get them through. And there we go. That's how we do a double crochet. Now we're gonna do 10 of those, and I'll see you back in a minute. Okay, got my 10 stitches around my circle. I pulled on it really tight, closed up that hole, and now I'm gonna do my slip knot into that first stitch. What am I doing? Pay attention, Dee. Okay, got my first row done. Okay, all right, so we're gonna chain 2, 1, 2. We're gonna do a double crochet in that same spot, and we're gonna continue that around the circle. 2 double crochets in each stitch. Hold on one second, I gotta get things organized here. Got a little bit of a loop there. Oh, that's a piece of that. Okay, I got you. Okay, so 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around, which will make us have, how can I do this so easily when I'm not on camera, and I get on camera and I can't do it? All right, so 2 double crochets in each stitch, which will give us 20. Okay, so that's our next row. Super simple, easy to do. Just pain in the butt with the multiple strands, but it's worth it in the end because it gives you some shine and it gives you multiple colors and it looks hippy dippy. Okay, so we're going to go around that circle, putting 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. We'll have 20 stitches at the end, and I'll be back. Okay, we got 2 double crochets in each stitch, which is a total of 20. We're going to do a slip knot into this first stitch and double crochet. Now what we're going to do for this is we're going to skip to the next stitch and do 2 doubles. And of course, why can't, when I'm off camera, everything runs smooth. I get on camera and everything gets hung up. Okay, so 2 double crochets in this one, and then 1 double crochet in the next. 2, 1, 2, 1. You're going to do that all the way around. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 1. Next one is going to be 2. Am I bringing it? Am I out of camera? I think I am. Let me scooch up. Sorry. Okay. 1. Next stitch is going to be 2 double crochets. Like I said, this is a very, very basic hat, but the outcome, as you can see, comes out really cool when you use all the different strands and sparkle if you want, and different weights of yarn and all that kind of stuff. And different colors and scrap yarn. Scrap yarn is the best for this. I use scrap yarn for this. I got 3 scrap yarns going right now. 4 scrap yarns going right now. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 1. Next one is 2. We're going to do that all the way around till we get to the beginning. And you have to smooth things out as you go along too, especially if you're using as many strands as I am. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way around. I'll meet you back. Okay, we got that row done. Okay, never fails. Mark calls in the middle. All right, slip knot again. Get that slip knot in there. All right, next row is going to be, you're going to chain 2, of course. And you're going to do a single in the next one. And then 2 doubles. So it's 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That's your next row. Pretty simple. Like I said, this is a very, very basic hat pattern. Just what makes it interesting is all the different yarns and the sparkles and all of that kind of stuff. So go around and do that. Okay, so I've got 1, 1, 2. We're going to do 1 in this next stitch and 1 in the next. Let's pull and straighten out my yarns. Okay, and 1 in the next. Easy peasy. And then 2 in the next. We're going to do that all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is 4 rounds, so our next round is going to be our last round for the top. Okay, and then we'll proceed with the down part. Alright, so get that done and I'll be back. Okay, we're at the end of the row. Same process, we're going to put a slip stitch in our last row. Okay, this is our last row of the top. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So 4 rows, because I've used, thicker yarn, 4 rows was enough. But you may need to put in another row depending on how thick your yarn is. Okay, just kind of size it to the top of your head. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we are going to chain 2. And we are going to do double crochets, 1 in each stitch, but we're only going to do it in the back loop. Okay? So we're going to do 1 double crochet in the back loop of every stitch. Okay, that's going to give us a little line here, and it's going to start the bending down of the hat. Okay? So we're going to go around, back loop of the stitch, oops, do a double. Why does this always happen on my camera? I swear to God. Okay, so anyways, in the back loop, you know me, I don't know how to edit, so you guys are stuck with my crazy. I love you guys for putting up with my crazy, but we're gonna go in the back loop and do a double crochet all the way around. Now you'll notice as you do this, it's not going to happen just yet for me, but what's going to happen is this is going to start to flip up this way. When you get to the end of the row, you're just going to flip it up this way. So you're doing the outside of the hat. Do you see what I'm saying? You could do it either way. But as you're going along, you're going to see that this is starting to move in this way. It's perfectly fine. When you get around and do the first row and you're done, you just turn it over and flip it up like this and continue on. I'll show you when we get there. But in the meantime, do a double in the back loop only of every stitch. And I dropped my thread. There we go. Every stitch all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, we've reached the end of this row. See what I mean? How it turns in? Alright, so we're gonna do our slip knot. What am I doing? I always do that. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna do our slip knot. We're gonna chain 2. Got my crazy thread going here. Okay, we're gonna chain 2. And then we're gonna flip it inside out, because what happens, and there we got a top of our hat, okay? And then we're gonna go down, well, depends on your head, but mine, let's see, the other one I did, I did 3 rows down, okay, so I've already got 1, but I'll put it on my head and see where I want it to hit me in the forehead, you know, so that it's above my eyes. Okay, so that's our finished last row. Now we're going to go through both loops, okay? So you go through both loops and make a double crochet. We're not doing any increases. It's 1 double crochet per stitch. And I will meet you at the end of this row. Pretty simple. Oops, of course, as soon as I say simple, right? Okay. It's a good thing I don't know how to edit. I'd be editing all day, I know. Alright, so there we go. We're going to do a double crochet in every single stitch all the way around. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay. So I did my 3 rounds. Now we're going to start to make the brim. Okay, you remember when we did this row here that leaves the ridge? We went in the back loop. Well, this time we're going to chain 2. And we're going to go in the front loop. How I go in the front loop is like this. And everybody does things different. And I'm a little different. So, alright, so that's how I do my front loop. Which, let me get a couple stitches in and I'll show you. Makes the hat kind of... It makes it kind of bend forward, and that's the start of your brim. Can you see? It starts the brim. Okay. So everybody does things differently, but I always put 1 double crochet. Actually, I kind of messed up. 1, 2, 3, 4. On my 4th double crochet, when I do a brim, I put 2 in. So you're going to do 3 singles. I hope I'm in the camera. 1, 2, 3, and then I put 2 doubles in the same stitch, and then continue on. 3 singles, single double crochets, you know what I mean. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 in this stitch. 1, 2. Okay, so 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, that first row is done, and of course I slip stitched. Now, oops, wrong way. Okay, now I'm going to chain 2. And I'm going to go into that same stitch, make 2 double crochets, And then I'm going to do 1, 2, I think I'm going to do two double crochets and then 2 in 1. 2 in 1. I'll show you. So that was 2. And now we're going through both loops because we've got our brim started turning back. Okay, so we got 2 in 1. There's 2. Then we're going to do 2 in the same. And like I said, we're going all the way through. No front loop, no back loop, both loops. Okay, then we go 1, 2, and then 2 in the next. Nope, I'm staying in camera good. Okay, so as you can see, it starts making the brim bigger. Now, I will get around. Now, remember, you're doing 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay. All right, so I've slip stitched and chained 2. Now, this next row, I'm going to put 2 in the first stitch, 1, and then 2. So it's going to be, hold on 1 second, 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And we're going to do that all the way around. I do want to say that I learned a lesson doing this second hat. When I use the, here, this is how it's looking, as you can see. I hope you can see. The brim is coming out wider. I did learn something doing the second hat, that when I'm using the sari ribbon, it makes the hat bigger. So I should have done an extra row here on the side. But like I said in the beginning, you just kind of judge it, put it on your head, judge where you want it to hit, like on your eyebrows, that kind of area, and then you start your brim. So, but I learned a lesson because it's kind of shallow, and I wish it was just one more row deeper. But it's still will stay on my head and all that kind of stuff. But not using the sari ribbon has made it smaller. So, anyways, I'm going to do this row, and then I will be back. Okay, I slip chained, or slip knotted. Going to chain 2. Now this one, I'm going to do a 2 doubles, a single again, and then 2 doubles. Okay, so that's what this row is going to be. 2 doubles, 2 doubles, a single, and 2 doubles in every stitch all the way around, and I will meet you at the end. I think I'm going to do one more row after this one, and then I'm going to call it done. And then comes the fun part, embellishments. Yay, my favorite part. All right, guys, I'll be back. Okay, so this is what our hat looks like. And I just did a slip knot at the end. Oops, sorry, I bumped the camera. And I'm just going to pull it through. I'm going to leave it, leave it some extra in case I want to put a tassel back there or something. Or I can sew it in later or whatever. Okay, so now comes the fun part, the embellishments. This is a floppy hat, and the other one is a more stiff hat. So I'm going to decorate it a little different. So I will be back once I've decided what exactly it is I'm going to do. And so far, this is our hat. All right, guys, I'll be back. Okay, I found this big bag of, probably from a marketplace haul, of the eyelash yarn, but it also has sequins in it. And it kind of matches the colors that are in the hat. So I think I'm going to do a row around the outside of the hat, and we'll see how that looks. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I got my yarn attached. Basically, I just tied it to the other tassels that I had down there. And I'm going to do a row of single crochets all the way around, just to give it a little bit of this eyelash and sequence. And I'm just going to do a single crochet in every stitch on my Hippy Dippy floppy Hippy Dippy hat. I was going to put wire in it to stiffen it out and make it more like a sun hat, but I think I kind of like it the floppy way, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to do a row of single crochets all the way around. I think that's enough. Gives it a little sequence. And I'll be back when I get it all the way around. Okay, so I did a single crochet all the way around. And then I'm just going to pull, I'm just going to pull it out. And that leaves me with some more of this over here in case I want to do something with that. Now I think as I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to put a fuzz around here too. So I'm going to do some more single crochets. I'm going to go right inside these loops here from the line and put a line of that there. And my almost finished Hippy Dippy floppy hat. And then I'm going to embellish it some. So I'll be back to show you that. Okay, I got my hot glue gun. I got this vine. I'm going to repurpose this. I'm going to glue it around the outside. And then I found some little foam roses. I'm going to put those on. Show you what that looks like when it's done. Alright, here we go. Okay. So now I've got the flowers all the way around and the vines. That'll be a better picture when I get done. Anyways, I'm going to put these pony beads on this fringe a little bit. And I'm going to use this needle right here. And I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. Okay, the hippie hat is done. Turn around, Mark, show him the back. Put beads on the tassel in the back. And flowers and vines all around. Alright, I'm going to show you the other hippie hat. Okay, here's the other hippie hat. Turn around, Mark. Dog alert. Alright, thank you, model.